Hey guys, Steven John Moran here. On today's training, I'm going to show you 6 ways to profit from people who say no online. Over the past 20 years, I've generated millions of dollars in sales from people who mostly told me no. Here are 6 ways I learned to turn no's into sales online. Number one, you got to understand, most people say no. You know why? Because they're supposed to. Starting from childhood, we're taught to be wary of people we don't know and to never make fast decisions when it comes to buying something. So to expect your prospect to go against the very habits and beliefs that are ingrained since childhood is foolish. That's why you should always get the email address first. If you know that most people aren't going to buy it first, then offer them something valuable and free in exchange for their email address. This way you can build a relationship based on trust and value first and then make the sale. You've heard that before, but it's not what you think. This has nothing to do with creating a conversion funnel based on email marketing. In fact, funnels as you know them are worthless. Most internet marketing experts will tell you to send traffic to a landing page, get a prospect to opt in, and then put them into a funnel designed to get the sale as quickly as possible. And that funnel is usually a series of emails sent by an autoresponder, with each one directing the prospect back to the sales page. The reason this approach will fail you is because most people who opt into any funnel simply will not buy initially, no matter how persuasive your copy is. The reason why is the simple human nature I just told you about. People aren't supposed to buy it first. We're taught not to do it. But this is exactly what the funnel as you know it attempts to do. It's exclusively designed to focus on the tiny percentage of outliers who defy human nature and buy quickly. And it ignores and usually irritates everyone else. The real money is in the people who say no. Here's how to get it. Instead of building a conversion funnel, build multi-phased campaigns all centered around response indicators. Here's what this means. In every sales situation, there's always an action or a series of actions a prospect typically takes before he or she buys. We call these actions response indicators, and they're the key to your success. Example, in a car buying scenario, people rarely buy a car without first taking it out for a test drive. Therefore, the test drive is the response indicator. This is why when you go to a car dealership, the salesman's first priority is to get you to take a test drive. Here's how this applies to you. Let's say you're sending traffic to a page that advertises a free report in exchange for the prospect's email. And let's assume that in order for the prospect to trust you enough to buy, he needs to read the very report he's opted in for. The act of him reading your report is the response indicator in this example. Here's a shocking statistic that reveals a major opportunity. Research shows that over 50% of prospects never go and access the information they opted in for. They're basically saying no to the very thing they just requested from you. And this means your chances for making the sale are immediately cut in half because, statistically speaking, half of your prospects never made it through the first response indicator. The way you cure this is by creating sequences in your campaign whose sole purpose is to simply move your prospect from one response indicator to the next until he buys. And the way you do that is to use behavioral marketing in everything you do. Behavioral marketing is truly the holy grail of internet marketing. It works by tracking what your prospects are doing in your campaign and then dynamically sending them customized marketing messages based on their behavior. Here's an example. I recently created a 45-minute video designed to attract clients who are interested in having my company create marketing campaigns for them. The video walked people through exactly how to create a winning campaign and offered them the ability to apply to speak with my office at the end. Here are the initial response indicators for the campaign. Number 1, to begin the video. Number 2, to finish the video, so they'd therefore see my offer. And number 3, apply to speak with us about becoming a client. And with this in mind, I knew the campaign had to be designed to simply get as many people through those response indicators as possible. So the first thing I did was to track how many people were beginning the video. If they didn't begin the video, I would send them an email reminder to go and watch it. But there was a twist. I made it so their access to the video would only be available for 3 days. If they didn't begin the video they opted in for, they would get email reminders telling them the access was about to expire. I was even able to dynamically calculate the date their access would expire and merge that date into the reminder emails for added response. So instead of saying your access expires in 3 days, the email would say your access expires on Tuesday, the 23rd. This one little tweak alone caused just over 75% of the people who opted in for the video to actually go and watch it, which is head and shoulders better than the typical 50%. That's an immediate 50% increase over the norm, all because we identified the first response indicator and created a special sequence that tracked their behavior and responded accordingly. If all other factors in the campaign remained constant, we just achieved a 50% increase in sales from that one small tweak. But this was only the beginning. The next response indicator was to get them to finish the entire video and therefore see my offer. And that's where the huge problem was. This was a 45-minute video of me on a computer screen talking about complex marketing. No special effects, no animation, nothing. It takes a special sort of masochist to endure 45 minutes of such torture. And that's why I'm pointing this out to you. As you know, video is quickly becoming the primary way people consume content online. And if you're using it to sell, your viewers need to watch the whole video so you can make your entire case. That's obvious, but here's a real eye-opener. According to Wistia, less than half video viewers make it through videos that are only 2 minutes long. 2 minutes. Go longer than 2 minutes and it gets even worse. I don't think they even have research on videos as long as mine because they're so uncommon. Anyway, getting people to watch that entire 45-minute video was a huge challenge, but had to be done because I didn't make an offer until the very end of the video. This was strategically deliberate, by the way. I wanted to provide massive value up front before asking them to do anything. This has always worked really well for me. So here's how I accomplish the impossible and how you can model my approach. Always track what your prospects are doing and respond accordingly. In this campaign, I kept track of how much video they actually watched. If they left before finishing, I'd send them emails telling them what they were missing and sending them back to go watch the rest. In other words, I tracked their behavior and then dynamically responded by sending them customized messages to get them through the next step in the campaign. I had special follow-up sequences built to go out if they left before the 15-minute mark, 30-minute mark, and the end. Each sequence was a little different, referencing what they'd seen and telling them what they'd missed, based on how far they'd gotten in the video, and telling them to go finish it. By doing this, I was able to get 38% of them to actually finish the entire 45-minute video, which is literally unheard of. But here's the biggest breakthrough yet. Remember, our 3 response indicators were to get them to begin the video, watch the entire video, and apply to speak with my office about building their campaigns for them. And we'd done a great job of getting them through the first 2 steps. They were starting the video, watching the whole thing, and the feedback was amazing. But there was still a problem. Even though they loved the video, only 2% of them who finished it were applying to talk with us about becoming clients. Now, at first glance, this is acceptable because our services aren't cheap, and they're certainly not for everyone. And I was very forthcoming about the price in the video. So most people would be thrilled at a 2% conversion at our price point. We don't settle for acceptable or even good. We insist on exceptional. Here's how we got a 400% increase in applications and the secret to increasing your response. If the video got a 2% conversion, that means 98% of the people who saw it said no to my offer at the very end. But they didn't say no because they weren't interested, and they didn't say no because they didn't want the outcome I could help them achieve. If that were the case, they wouldn't have stayed for the entire 45-minute video. So in a situation where you've got prospects who've been through your campaign, read your messages, seen your videos, and still saying no, it's almost always for one of these reasons. First, there's plain old-fashioned laziness. Many of your prospects won't buy because they didn't feel like getting up, finding their wallet, digging out their credit cards, and typing in all that information. Next, there's procrastination. They're interested and they want the outcome, but they're distracted by something and they tell themselves they'll get to it later. And finally, there's the need for more information. They're almost ready to buy, but they just need some extra push. They've got a question or a concern, or might just need a little bit more time to make a decision. These are the people who will make you the most money. Think about it for a minute. In this example, they opted in and watched an entire 45-minute case study video about the exact thing I'm offering to do for them. You know they're interested because they behaviorally demonstrated it. This is the same thing as having a clothing store and being with a prospect who saw your ads, drove to the store, came in, and tried on a suit. As far as prospects go, they don't make them any better. So these are the people you want to focus the majority of your efforts on. And the way you turn them into customers online is to use multiple conversion points. This is another major breakthrough. A conversion point is any point in your campaigns where you ask for the order. This can be your sales letter, your webinar, your sales video, whatever. Most campaigns have only one conversion point. In any campaign, more conversion points equals more money, period. So in this example, we had only 2% of the people who completed my video were applying to talk to my office. I wanted more, so here's what I did. I wrote a PDF sales letter outlining the offer I'd made at the end of the video. The letter was thorough, detailed, and it had a strong call to action at the end. Then I emailed it to just the people who completed the video and hadn't yet applied. But I didn't stop there. Like I told you earlier, behavioral marketing is the holy grail of internet marketing, and you should use it in everything you do. So in this case, I tracked whether or not they clicked to download the PDF. If they didn't download it, I had an email series that would remind them to go and read it. But I took it one step further. I made it so the PDF itself would only be available for a limited time. And I let the prospect know when their access was expiring. I was able to dynamically determine the expiration date and merge it into the emails they were getting. So they'd say, this letter is only available until Wednesday the 19th, and so on, with each user seeing a different date depending on when they'd finished the video. The result was a 95.89% conversion rate. 95.89% of the people who watched the entire video responded to my email sequence about the PDF letter and downloaded it. This is literally unheard of in internet marketing. And it has nothing to do with the copy in the emails. Instead, it's working because behavioral marketing is being used to filter out who the most interested prospects are, those who have finished the entire video, and then putting the most energy towards them. Incidentally, just adding this one step immediately doubled sales. But remember, your sales are directly proportional to the amount of conversion points in the campaign. So I decided to double sales again by adding more conversion points. Here's how I doubled sales again. First, I shifted my focus from people who finished the video to people who also downloaded the PDF. Remember, you always want to be analyzing your prospects' behavior and focusing all of your energy on the ones who demonstrate they're the most interested. So here's what I did. I created a 3-part video series that literally showed them exactly what had happened to them in each step of the way in the campaign that they were in. At the end of each video, I created another conversion point by asking them to apply for a consult with my office. And I used the same countdown techniques to get them to watch each new video that I'd used to get them to download the PDF. Naturally, the majority of them watched the videos, and I got even more applications. The net result? First and most importantly, this campaign created massive goodwill with all the people who went through it. They felt like they were receiving very valuable and helpful content, not just a barrage of sales pitches. This is critical because it increases our chances of getting new business from them later on. Plus, it helped build our brand and position us as a good company to deal with, and it's just a cool way to do business. The bad part? Guess what? It worked so well, we got too many applications, so we had to stop running it. Here's the bottom line. It's true. The fortune really is in the follow-up, just not in the way you're used to. You can't bludgeon people with pitches and offers and expect it to work. But if you have a truly dynamic campaign that tracks user behavior and responds accordingly, you can see your sales grow like nothing before. If that sounds like something you might be interested in, I've got this 12-week maximizer program where I work with private clients. We meet once a week for 12 weeks over Zoom. My sole job with these clients is to help them increase revenue, but to do it in the simplest and fastest and most efficient way possible. If your business does $250,000 or more in gross sales every year, and you'd like to grow your revenues while getting rid of complexity and stress by using behavioral marketing, my company might be able to help you. We have a consulting program that's unique in these ways. Number one, I literally guarantee that you'll make at least twice our fee within the first 90 days of working together. There's absolutely no catch or any fine print. We do this by eliminating the clutter and distractions that are bothering you and keeping you from getting what you want, and then finding simple ways to increase revenue immediately. Then we take that and systemize what's working so you can have sustained growth as well. Our long-term goal with clients is a minimum 20% revenue growth in the next 12 months. Look, I'm happy to give you a free initial consulting session. It's my way of using what I like to call the oldest trick in the book, which is to demonstrate that I can help you by actually helping you. And from there, we can discuss whether or not we might be a good match in terms of working together. Regardless, I'm happy to help you find some low hanging fruit, some opportunities to grow revenue in your business, and I'll do that for free. You can schedule a call with me by going to www.stevenjohnmoran.com/call. On that website, you'll see a couple of multiple choice questions, and then you'll be taken to a calendar where you can schedule a time that works for you. Regardless, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. I hope you found it helpful, and I look forward to working together soon. Thanks again.